Agente M, bienvenida a M&B.
Hola.
Aparta, tía, deja paso al macho alfa.
Usted irá con el agente H.
Vamos, el mundo no se salva solo.
Yo conduzco. Eso debería estar aquí.
En este país no.
You mean the concept, the basic concept?
The plot has changed obviously many times. The concept, I hope it has. To us, it felt, even from the beginning, sort of like a classic concept, because it was very much based in the original on the genre of a cop movie, with the only difference is that they were policing aliens. So it has, hopefully has a kind of timeless quality in that way, and hopefully in the other key element in the first, and even when we read the first graphic novel, was the sort of imagery of the black suit, the kind of classic black suit against this, with an alien gun, and again, juxtaposition, but again, classic elements, so.
There's something else about the concept of Men in Black, which is hopefully ages, and is a little bit unique. It shares with a couple of other movies. There's science fiction which reveals something that the world of your movie knows. I mean, in Independence Day, the world knows we're at war. There's another sort of science fiction that has to do with staying under the radar and letting the audience in on something, which is very much what Men in Black is. E.T. was that. Other than the movie audience and Elliot, no one knew about the reality of E.T. Yeah. And there's an intimacy to that, which if you pull it off is really sort of interesting.
No, it was not at all. Listen, I think we were thrilled to have it. And really the idea began with the idea of M. It began with the idea of this young woman who has an encounter very young and who's witnesses her parents be neuralized and lives in this kind of, she's brilliant and obsessed and also kind of isolated because she knows this thing and can't even trust her own parents because they don't know the truth. So it really began with that character, and it wasn't about, it was strange. It wasn't, I don't know why, I guess that idea could certainly have worked with a young boy, but for some reason M was always a woman. And we knew that there would be a pairing, and we always had the idea of her then meeting someone on her mission, working with someone. That was key too. But it wasn't a conscious choice, but obviously we love it. Any chance to create a great female hero is one wants to take.
You know, when I'm just realizing, much like the first one, we wrote an entire script. An entire script was written for Men in Black 4, for which the only element that remains is the character of M.
Yeah, a first script with different writers, had a totally different story. It did have a male counterpart, but very different character. It stayed in the state. It was very different.
But the one idea,
she was the rock card. She was the idea that we never.
And I'm thinking back. We actually had the script. We worked on the script before what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years with Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel. So I think the great thing is that from the studio's point of view and from I think the public's point of view, it's not an issue. I think we're finally at a point where man, woman, person of color, it doesn't really matter if the movie works.
I don't know if it's, nostalgia is probably a sweet way to I think there's a kind of, I think there is certainly, there are between the sort of Marvel, which is an anthology of things, and remaking things. I think that the truth is that studios are driven by sort of their bigger titles now. Yeah. And I think that right or wrong, and some work and some don't, but that if you do have something recognizable, they feel they have something they can build a sort of marketing campaign on. But I don't think, as producers, we've made a lot of movies that you could potentially make a sequel for that we have not pushed to do that. And this one, it did feel to us because it's more about, to us at least, the world still felt relevant, and it's more about the universe than the characters, really. It's not about you know, even though they've done it very successfully, Spider-Man, in a way it's
Yeah.
strange, whole new Spider-Man, but it, you know, Men in Black is a universe. It presents a place where there are multiple agents. We even kind of always, I think we indicated in one that there are international, you know, branches. So to us, there was a way to just expand the world. But it's true that the studios now, it's, you know, it's a tremendous part of their business. It's a reality. When we ran DreamWorks, we started the studio with Steven Spielberg. It was a different time, and we, you know, we didn't own anything we could franchise because we started from nothing. But it was, it was a very different time. It is more limiting for you know, as producers now with big studio movies.
When you really look at the landscape with between games and streaming, everything is available on the internet. There's so much that is vying for the attention of your audience. So when a studio, because these become very expensive movies because there's so much CG involved, the fact that something has a recognizable title or world or that the audience can understand, and as Laurie says, that you can build on, is looked upon as very valuable. It's just the fact of the world.
Yeah.
¿Viendo esto?
Habrá que echarle pelotas.
¡Eh, chaval!
¿Vamos?
¿No habíamos llegado?
Písale, Freddy.
¿Cómo no, Hachi?
No sabes a quién te enfrentas. Protegemos la Tierra. Y a todos y todo lo que hay en ella.
¡Ha sido alucinante!